welcome to Hanging with GZ. Hey, it's gardening time here in southeast Kansas. The weather's warmed up and everything's good, and we got the old garden tilled up here and started planting. So family came down and we got a few things in yesterday, and just kind of going to go over some stuff here on gardening here in southeast Kansas. You know, we got the tomatoes in. We planted about 15 tomatoes, and kind of worried about Thursday night. The weatherman said it's going to get down there around 30 degrees, so I'm going to cover them up here probably tomorrow night. Start covering them up a little bit, and then I'll check them again there Thursday, see what the temperature is going to do, and we'll cover them up again. But I planted me several old tomato plants and some pepper plants, and I got a couple of big old rows of green beans and some pea snap peas, or whatever you call them snapping peas, and got some onions planted, and we're going to plant some taters. And I want to show you a little bit about taters, because I've been a long time ago, I was a boy with this same garden. We planted taters, and this thing was full of taters, and I kind of wrote a book about my childhood, and it's called Listen, the Old Timers Are Talking. But anyway, the old tater plow, I used it, and I'm going to show you a little bit of that today. So hang in there with me and let's plant some garden.
No, get back.
Oh, we got a kink. Whoa! And I give Sylvia a bath.
Hey! Mind over matter. You gotta get your feet first.
This is my future tractor puller right here. He loves tractors. A little lettuce going in the ground right there.
What?
Now I want to give you a history lesson. This is the well-known tater plow in the family, and this plow has been around for a long time. This thing here makes them farrows, you know, for the farrows, for we can plant them potatoes in, you know, get them good and deep, and they'll grow good. But anyway, this old plow goes back in my family for years and years and years. My grandpa used to use it years ago, and then my dad got it. My dad died when he was 80-some years old, 86 years old. Now I'm using it, and I'll probably pass it on to the kids, and hope he passes it on to the grandson. But anyway, I remember years ago, it had wooden handles in it. Well, the old wooden handles broke off and everything, so my dad just went and got the welder and some old sucker rod, and he made a handle. But anyway, that old potato plow goes back a long ways, you know. I mean, I can remember when I was a kid on behind this thing with a horse, and back then, you know, us kids had to work for a living to earn our plate of meal, or earn our plate at supper time, and you know, that was back before the world changed so much. But anyway, this is kind of look at the old tater plow. I need to clean the dirt off of it for it won't rust up too good, because I'm done with it for this year. But anyway, that's the famous tater plow that's been in the family for a long time. You know, usually that tater plow was pulled behind a big old draft horse, you know. He was hooked up single, you know, but you kind of fight that plow and kind of go along with that horse, you know, and it wasn't so bad. But hey, this year we tied her to the back of the old Kubota tractor. And let me tell you what, she was a little rough hanging on to for the old man. But I put the boy on it, he made a pretty straight row, so we're going to plant some taters.
Let me go faster?
Go back.
Come back over here.
Hold it. Stay out of my green beans.
Okay. Good thing we're videoing.
ready for taters.
This is what that potato plow does. It cuts a pretty good ditch coming through here. My dad says deeper the ditch, well, you don't want it too deep, but deeper the ditch, the longer the root and more potatoes. So kind of going what the old man taught me years ago, the old men. So we're gonna drop some taters in the ground. Okay, I got them planted. These are all white potatoes right here. Oh, I'd say about maybe a 40-foot row right here. So we're going to cover them up here in a minute, and I'll kind of show you how I cover them up. A lot of people might not agree with me, but I've been doing this so long with my feet over the years, I got it kind of figured out. So that's kind of the purpose, you know, you kind of rake it back over with your feet, and that's how I was taught, so that's the way we're going to do it. Okay, I'm going to show you something here. Something just absolutely blows my mind. You see them taters I just got through planting down there, them white ones. I already had these in the ground before I decided to turn the camera on and show you all this, but I ain't gonna dig one up. But you know, I always got seed potatoes, and I cut the eyes off and let them dry for 3 days before I ever planted them. But I went on a search for seed potatoes. I couldn't find any, but I was over there at one of them hardware stores the other day, and they had 10 of them in a box, and I thought, what the world is that? Now, this is how life is changing. We got 10 potatoes in there with these roots on them, or these sprouts on them, and these sprouts was probably 15 to 20 inches long. So I planted them. These are all red potatoes, but they're all sticking out down through here. Looks like a bunch of white worms coming out of the dirt, but we're gonna find out how well they grow this year. But I wanted some red potatoes. I got about 60-foot row here all together, clear up to the end, and I'm sitting in the middle of this row, clear down to where I started them other potatoes at. But anyway, potatoes in a box with already ready to go. All you gotta do is drop them in the ground. We're gonna find out how they grow. Hey, I want to thank everybody for hanging with GZ, and we did a little garden planting. There's all my tomato plants there in that row. We started off with some pepper plants in that row. We planted 3 different kinds of lettuce on the rest of the row down there. And then I started off here with some carrots. So we got carrots planted, and then the onions start. Then over here, we got radishes, and then the onions start. I got 2 rows of green beans right here. Well, I got a row of them snapping peas, them pea snap peas for salads. I got 2 rows of green beans, and I got 1 big old row of potatoes. Now, my dad used to plant over half of this garden in taters, and then we put them taters up for the winter in a tater bin. But we're not going to work that hard this year. We're just going to dig them and eat them as we get them. And then we're going to put some climbing cucumbers over here and make a bunch of pickles. And I'm going to fill the rest of the garden with corn. And then down below behind me, I got another field about an acre, half an acre. I tilled up, and I'm going to plant some sweet corn here in a couple of weeks, so I'll give you a video on that. So thanks for watching, hanging with GZ, and we'll catch you on the next video.